Samora Machel was born in 1933 in a small village in Mozambique. He grew up in a time of colonial rule by Portugal. Life was hard for black Mozambicans who faced discrimination and limited opportunities. Machel, however, managed to get an education, a rare feat for someone from his background. He trained as a nurse, a profession that would later give him insight into the needs of his people. Machel's experiences with Portuguese colonialism fueled his desire for change. He saw firsthand the inequalities and injustices faced by his people. He joined the Mozambican liberation movement, Frelimo, in the early 1960s. Machel quickly rose through the ranks of Frelimo. His natural leadership qualities combined with his sharp intellect and powerful speeches made him a unifying figure. He became the leader of Frelimo's armed wing, transforming a group of poorly armed guerrillas into a disciplined fighting force. This marked the beginning of his transformation from a young activist to a revolutionary leader. Under Machel's leadership, Frelimo launched a guerrilla war against Portuguese rule. The fight for independence was long and bloody, lasting over a decade. Machel proved to be a strategic thinker and a charismatic leader, inspiring his troops and gaining support from other African nations. Frelimo, under Machel's command, employed guerrilla tactics to wear down the Portuguese forces. They launched surprise attacks on military outposts and disrupted colonial infrastructure. They also worked to win the support of the rural population, providing essential services and spreading their message of liberation. The struggle for independence came at a great cost. Many Mozambicans lost their lives, and the country's infrastructure was devastated. However, Machel's determination never wavered. He believed deeply in the cause of freedom and independence for his people. Finally, in 1975, Portugal, weakened by internal strife and facing international pressure, granted Mozambique its independence. After years of struggle, Machel's vision of a free Mozambique became a reality. With independence achieved, Samora Machel became Mozambique's first president. He inherited a country ravaged by war and facing immense challenges. He moved swiftly to establish a socialist state, nationalizing key industries and landholdings. He aimed to create a more equitable society, addressing the deep-seated inequalities that were a legacy of colonial rule. However, Machel's vision for Mozambique did not include political pluralism. He believed that a one-party state was necessary to maintain stability and unity in the newly independent nation. Frelimo became the sole legal party, and opposition was swiftly suppressed. Machel's government implemented policies aimed at transforming Mozambican society. They focused on expanding access to education and healthcare, particularly in rural areas that had been neglected under colonial rule. He also launched ambitious literacy campaigns aiming to empower the population through education. Despite these efforts, Machel's government faced criticism for its authoritarian tendencies. Political dissent was not tolerated, and the press was tightly controlled. Critics argued that Machel's policies were becoming increasingly repressive and that he was betraying the democratic ideals he had fought for during the liberation struggle. Section 4. Charisma and Control. Samora Machel possessed undeniable charisma. He was a captivating speaker, able to connect with people from all walks of life. He used his charisma to rally the nation behind his vision for Mozambique. He traveled widely, both within Mozambique and internationally, promoting his socialist agenda and seeking support for his government. However, this charisma was coupled with a firm grip on power. Machel's government showed little tolerance for dissent. Opposition parties were banned, and those who criticized the government faced harassment, imprisonment, or worse. Machel justified these actions by arguing that national unity and stability were paramount in the fragile post-independence period. He believed that allowing opposition would only serve to divide the nation and undermine the hard-won independence. Despite the restrictions on political freedoms, Machel remained a popular figure for many Mozambicans. He was seen as a symbol of their struggle for independence and a champion of the poor and marginalized. His government's focus on social programs, particularly in education and healthcare, resonated with many, particularly in rural areas. A legacy of contradictions. Samora Machel's life and rule were tragically cut short in 1986, when his presidential plane crashed under mysterious circumstances. The cause of the crash remains a subject of speculation to this day, with some believing it was an accident while others suspect foul play. Machel's death plunged Mozambique into mourning. He was a towering figure, both literally and figuratively, and his death left a void in Mozambican politics that proved difficult to fill. Samora Machel's legacy is complex and contested. He was a hero of the liberation struggle, a charismatic leader, and a champion of social justice. However, he was also an authoritarian ruler who suppressed dissent and curtailed political freedoms. He left behind a mixed legacy, a country freed from colonial rule but grappling with the challenges of building a just and equitable society. His story serves as a reminder of the complexities of leadership and the often difficult choices faced by those who come to power after years of struggle against oppression.